17th of April as we slowly fade in. You're looking dapper and clean and
Thank you very much. I'm really actually am happier about the no buttoning up and doing the tie. Look at the chicken skin here that I've got a.
I know.
The last time I wore a tie, it took me 15 minutes to button the button up because this foghorn leghorn started lapping over my chin.
Yes, but you're looking.
And it's no fatter.
No.
I don't have a bigger neck. I never had a neck. It's a straw.
Yeah, I get the same. It's starting down here too.
Yeah.
And the Adam's apple becomes more prominent too. You can put a little knick-knack on it. You can kind of put it.
That's right. Your bowling trophy, right?
Hang your keys on there as you come in the house.
And when you get angry, it starts waving around in the wind, and people just laugh at you.
That's right. Yes.
Dear me.
Oh, it's Friday. It feels, and I'm tied into the whole media thing every single day, but today there's an air of it's a mixture of resignation and but there's hope in there too. I think people are of course people are getting out of their homes, and let me just cover off on a couple little things, a couple of odds and ends here, and I'll let you go.
I think we've got used to things and we are making progress, if that's fair enough to say. I think so
too. Yeah, let me just a couple of little odds and ends I forgot this week. Sunwing, the travel airline, of course they're all travel airlines, aren't they? The holiday airline gave away some 46,000 meals to food banks this week. So
what a great idea.
Yeah, again, we can joke all we want about airline food, but that's something that's going to feed a few folks, and they are really in need. And the Suburban here put the piece up, and they put a photograph of Montreal there too to remind us how much of this stuff is required. So you and I have talked about this. So if you can be of help to your local food bank, great. I ran across this.
I was reading something about the demand. It was in the States, but I'm sure it is. It's everywhere. The demand is unbelievable. Contributions are down a bit, and I don't think it's because people are being ungenerous. It's people can't necessarily get out to donate. But I think some food banks are making allowances for that and pick up and things like that. So,
yeah, but they're, again, social distancing and training staff and older staff, less inclined to go in now. So it's a one big pain in the ass, but they're making things move. And if you can help, please do so. I ran across this. Now, Silvio Berlusconi is selling his yacht. If you've got a couple of shekels lying around the house, $11 million US for this lovely embarcation. Morning Glory is the name of it. Just thought I'd let you know if you're looking for something.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness. And he's giving the money to charity?
No, he has. I mean, we can joke about Silvio. He did make a contribution recently to construct a hospital, I believe, in his hometown in Italy. So we'll let him slide on this one. But he's looking for a cool 11 mil for the Morning Glory, which used to belong to Rupert Murdoch, apparently. So nice little dinghy.
Goodness gracious me.
I often wonder why you'd put a fireplace in a boat, but that's just me. I don't.
Yeah, it's true. I've got an idea. A fountain.
That's right. Yeah. I don't know. It's like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Something's bound to go wrong somewhere. But anyway.
And a painting of a ship.
Yeah. Story this morning: gardening centers are being besieged. They can't keep up. People are running out there. Of course, they're buying tomato plants and cucumber plants. I was listening to an interview on Paul Arcand's show this morning, and this gardening expert couldn't help but laugh. He says people are buying tomato plants and cucumbers and things that they won't be able to put on the ground for another month.
It's still mighty early here.
Yeah, they may die just sitting on the porch there. So just relax a little bit here. And of course, the people at the gardening centers, we have a huge one just down the street here, are very pleased, very happy. And the one down the way from here employs a number of foreign workers who come in from as far away as Guatemala and Costa Rica and Mexico. So they're happy to be working, and but please be patient and please relax. And of course, I know nothing about gardening. And he was saying that the vast majority of the people now who are running out there to buy things that they can grow have no clue what they're doing.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's the same psychology as the toilet paper, isn't it?
yeah,
People just
exactly.
panic, and
So this is what this
we
is.
are at the stage where, if you remember normal times, you're basically raking up winter detritus and maybe putting down a little seed or something, but you're
It's
not putting stuff in the ground.
it's still below zero up in these parts anyway overnight. So,
Yeah, it's one right now.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
one above zero right now in the city, and it's after 10 o'clock in the morning.
Anyway, take a deep breath. And as a piece I picked up on this week too from the University of Washington, it's fairly complex, but what they're saying is visiting just one friend during the lockdown can cause difficulties. And I put the link on my page. They get into all the mathematics of it and all the various distributions of it. But if yes, you are contributing to the effort by being at home and by following the recommendations of the various experts. And there was an epidemiologist on the air just this morning saying that 50% of older adults are asymptomatic, but they remain contagious. They remain carriers. So what we don't know what we don't know. So
and we certainly have the technology where we
Yep.
can all visit, we can see
Yep.
each other, we can talk on the phone, which
There
is a
you go.
great idea. I find the telephone very therapeutic.
Yep.
Think about it for a second. I know, you can't hug the grandkids, you can't hug your relatives and friends and things like that, literally, and that is hard. We are social right up to the whole, except for you. But we are all kidding aside. I miss that. I miss it terribly. But it'll only take longer if we just don't show a little self-restraint.
And I've just flashed on Susan Pinker. I'm reading her book about people needing to be with people. And how ironic is that? I'm looking forward to having a chat with her. She's going to join us, I think, in the next few days. She's an author. You know her better than I do. But it's interesting that the title of the first chapter is People Need People. And it's interesting I'll be very interested to hear from her in this whole context. So I'm getting ahead of myself.
She's a friend and a colleague of my wife Betsy's. That's how I met her, and I interviewed her, and she's a great interviewer. And the book is just it speaks volumes about. It's definitive of what we're going through.
Okay.
Right
And Betsy will be joining us tomorrow. Elizabeth Hurst, who's in communications, will be speaking with her tomorrow afternoon. And I'm looking forward to hearing from her, too, on her take on what's going on. But so there you are. Those are my bits for now. Do you have anything to offer before we talk to my mom?
I have a nice coffee and I put a tie on, and I'm just excited about seeing your mom for the first time.
Get my mom on the phone here. From Toronto, Ontario, down at Yonge and Eglinton there. And I was reading a piece this morning that Doug Ford is getting some pretty good reviews for his.
Yeah, they're starting to go after our premier a little bit more because
Hello.
Hello. Is the hotspot. Hello.
Hello, I can't see you.
Okay, it'll take a couple of seconds for it to log in there.
Good morning, son. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mona. Are you well?
I am very well, thank you.
Okay, is your camera icon on and all of that?
Yes.
At the bottom of your screen there?
I don't see a camera at the bottom of my screen.
Okay. Let me
I see something. There's a blue line moving from left to right.
Okay. We're not connecting. Let me disconnect, and then I will try to connect.
Let me see. It says join call.
Yeah, try that. There you are.
Okay.
There you are.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello. I'm trying to remember.
It's good to see your face.
Pardon?
It's good to see your face.
It's good to see yours too. I was trying to remember the last time we met. It was at Yvan's place, I think.
Yes.
Well, yes, and Yvan says it's 2002, so that makes it 18 years ago. He was just moving in.
That's right.
No, after that, you and Betsy were at Yvan's place in St. and.
Oh, that's right. It was for a family dinner.
Yes.
That's right.
Oh,
so
okay.
It was more recent.
So it was more recent than it. Okay, but do you remember?
God.
I have a better memory. My memory is better than yours.
Yeah, but that's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah. Thanks, Mark. Good night. Good night. We'll be here all week.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah, take heart with that, Mona. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember the time? Do you remember when you met Dave in the lobby of the building downtown, and did you mistake him for me? Because he
Yes.
swears that's not what happened.
Yes, because yes, you had moved in, I think.
Yeah,
Your
Yes.
father
that
had
was
driven to.
Oh, this is a great story, but I'll let you finish. Please go ahead. Yeah, I was moving into my condo in downtown Montreal. Dave was there to assist, and
Yeah.
then quickly, my father my father drove the car from Toronto. There was so much crap in the car that my mother couldn't ride in the car.
I
She
could.
took the train
I
to
took the
Oh,
train.
I've
Montreal.
forgotten that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
there's my father driving in this car full of dishes and towels and shit, coming in to help me move into my
Yeah,
apartment.
I never should have had kids.
They never leave. They never leave. They're like boomerangs. They come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember because it was a new place and I had taken the train. And anyway, I got there and there was a camera. You had to buzz. There was a buzzer and you had a camera and you could see me downstairs. And you said, okay, I'll open the door and I'll go and meet you. So this was a new place. I was getting my bearings, looking for the elevator, and I heard these steps. And they were long steps. And I think, oh, that's Yvan. And I see this gentleman. You had a trench coat on, I remember. You had your hands in your pockets, and your head was down. And I
That's
looked,
Dave. That's Dave. Yeah, trench coat with his head down. Yeah, walking
I
downtown.
couldn't see
Maybe
your
you better not finish this story, Mona.
and I couldn't see your face, but I thought, yeah, it must be Yvan. So I said hello, and you looked up, and I said, oh, I thought you were my son. And you said, he must be good looking. And I said, yes.
That's right.
That's right.
I
Fast on your
lied to
feet.
your mother.
You did. Thank you so much.
I know it's an old cliche, but I do remember it like yesterday.
Yep.
Yes.
I thought, here's this attractive woman looking for her son, and it turned out to be me.
Yeah. But I remember you and my father in my empty living room, sitting in lawn chairs, having a nice chat, and he was.
Yeah.
I remember he talked about that too. He had fond memories of that. So.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
it was amazing because this is the first time I'd met your dad, of course, too,
Yeah.
and how genes pass on from generation to generation. I walk exactly the way my father did, and my son, as Yvan has pointed out many times, walks exactly the way I do. Well, you, Yvan, walk exactly the way your dad.
Yeah. Oh,
it's remarkable.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, the way his whole.
Yeah, a
his
couple of guys
posture is
carrying
so-
steamer
yeah.
trunks. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, the worst posture in the world. So how are you faring here now? You live on your own. You live in a very densely populated part of the city there, and you're managing to get your supplies and everything every day.
Yes. No, yes. I live within a radius of 1 block. I have everything I need, from 2 grocery stores, 2 LCBOs, a butcher shop, a fish shop. So I walk. Yes. I tried ordering online. I cannot get a slot.
Okay.
It's that crowded, eh? Well, it took us 2 weeks to start ordering from Provigo here in Montreal.
Yeah. So there's a metro close by, but I think, maybe I could order stuff. I just can't get a slot. Anyway.
Yeah, it's extremely busy here too. But you manage to get out early in the morning, do you not? Before
Yes.
the senior hours?
Yeah, they have a senior hour from 7 to 8. So I'm an early riser, so I get there and I pick up what I need and come back, and yeah.
No trouble with that.
No,
they must
no.
have hand stations set up and the like. And
Oh yes,
Yeah.
there's somebody directing traffic, but when I go, I'm the first one there usually, so there's
Okay.
no one in the store, or maybe two or three people, and yes, they have all kinds of precautions. They wear a mask and they wear gloves and they clean, and and there are screens if you go by the cash register. Yeah.
It's a new world all of a sudden.
Mona, Yvan tells me, and from what I remember of that part of Yonge Street, the sidewalks are always crammed with people. Any
Yes.
time of the day. How difficult is social distancing? I mean, I know obviously it must be have eased a bit because of the situation, but it still must be difficult in that crowded part of Yonge Street.
It is, but I mean, because because businesses are closed, so there's not very many people.
Yeah.
But normally, there's a lot of people, and they're building, because I'm at Yonge and Eglinton, so they're building the metro links on Eglinton.
Oh, I forgot
building
about the
subway.
the construction, the
There's a
crosstown
lot of
line.
construction, and that has not stopped during this pandemic.
Oh, they're
it
still
hasn't.
working.
They're still working. It's considered essential.
Oh, interesting. Because here it's all stopped. All the transit work on the train lines and all of that came to a halt, and they haven't picked up on that yet.
They don't
Interesting.
work. They're not as many
Yeah,
working, but
right.
I mean, they're still. It's not completely stopped. No.
Wow. Okay, that's a huge project. Okay, I was reading this morning that Doug Ford is getting relatively good marks for his handling of this whole situation. What do you think of that?
Yes, he had a turnaround. I think. Yeah. At the
Yeah.
beginning he wasn't, but he. Yes, and now I think he's with this. What's going on in the seniors' home? I think he's very serious about it because his mother-in-law is in a seniors' home too. So
Okay.
I mean,
Ah.
there's a personal thing there too.
Okay. Because they were, they were doing streeters and talking to just average people on the street here, Radio Canada or CBC, and people saying, "Well, I wasn't a big supporter, but they seem to like to what they have seen of late." So that's certainly encouraging.
He has risen to the occasion. Yes, he has. At the beginning, no, but he has. Yes.
We
Okay.
we have about the same situation here in Quebec, Mona, although after the two seniors' homes incidents, at least two, things are starting to get a little
Sour.
tougher on our premier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're looking at this also here in Ontario because after SARS, there were 17 regulations or recommendations, and none of them were implemented. And
Yeah,
we
that's
have
a little
somebody.
scary.
It is scary. And then they showed a photograph last night on the news of these workers in one of the seniors' home, and they have plastic bags, garbage bags that they put over their head as to protect themselves.
Talk about makeshift.
Yes. Yeah.
That's true. Of course, Toronto was the epicenter, more or less, of the SARS outbreak in this
Yes,
country.
it was.
I remember, and remember, Dad was at Mount Sinai many years ago, and that's where it all happened, right? I recall seeing the photographs of the nurses and other assistants on the wall there who lost their lives during the SARS situation. So again, lessons were not learned last time around.
Well, I think
I
the recommendations were shelved
Yep.
by everyone, and oh well, later on, yeah. So I hope it
Yeah.
changes because it's not pretty what's going on. It's
No.
certainly not.
No, and it is not that this situation has grown whole because of COVID-19. The bad situations in some of those residences, that's been going on for years,
Yes, yes.
right? Yeah. How do you stay in touch with friends? I mean, we've got this technology here because I'm sure you like to keep in touch with people.
Yeah, so telephone, because telephone, not everybody has a computer, not everybody my age has a computer. So it's mostly telephone. And I do a bit of volunteer. There are two really shut-ins who can't help. They can't have their helpers come in to help them. So they have meals delivered to them, but they're socially isolated. So give them a call every second day to chat and see if they're okay and if they need something. So it's mostly the telephone. Actually, yes. And activities, though, I was just while I was waiting for your call, was trying to register at Ryerson University because they offer courses for seniors, and they're offering now a few of them online. So I wanted to
Oh yeah.
register online. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
good for
it's
you.
called,
What are you going to take?
Fly tying.
well, they no, they only have 7 online, but I mean, through the year, they have all kinds. They have everything from philosophy, history, geography, computer science, music. Yes.
Oh, well, good for you for taking
Wow.
the initiative, because I think a lot of people, when they get something like this, they feel so helpless. They fall into a kind of indolence where, oh, well, I don't want to take a course, or I don't want to. I think you've got to take the initiative in
Yeah.
this
That,
more,
these
more,
are
more.
they're,
Yeah.
they're geared to seniors. They last about 8 weeks, and that's 2 hours once a week. And they're not credit courses, but they're interest courses, but they're very interesting. I've been doing that now for 5 years, and every year. This is new online. They're trying their own. They only have 7. One of them is an interesting one. Is actually the fallout after de Gaulle's remark in 1967 when he said "Vive le Québec,
Le
vive le
Québec
Québec."
libre.
Ah, my
Oh yes.
goodness.
Oh my.
Yes.
So they built an
That's
entire
always interesting.
course out of it.
Yes, that should be interesting.
Certainly
Yeah,
is
they have one
around
on.
here.
Pardon?
Certainly is around here. So
Yeah, I am just one is them this year's on this session on Neil Young and his music.
oh
Oh,
my.
cool.
There's another one, philosophy literature. What's the other one? Um, the week in politics. This is a discussion one. We will talk about all the politics that happened the previous week, and it's an interactive kind of thing. So.
Oh, it's interactive. It's not just reading and
Oh,
ticking
no,
off
no,
boxes.
no.
Oh, you're interacting with a teacher, a professor.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
I have to sign into Zoom. They're offered via Zoom.
okay. That's not difficult to do. Of course, if you need any help, let me know, but it's quite easy to use.
So I don't know. I'm just reading about that, how to do that. So
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
terrific.
It's good to keep up an air of normalcy, right? I mean, to
Yes.
call somebody every couple of days to make sure at noon this day you do it. Because
Yeah.
if you fall into just, I'm going to relax, I find that leads to a depressive state. I don't want to scare anybody, but that's what happens to me if I'm not active. I'm not resting. So therefore, I just, your mind starts working on you. You've got to do something every day at a specific time. This is why this guy gets me out of bed.
And he's wearing a tie.
And I'm
Yes.
wearing a tie. This
Yeah.
is for you, Mona.
See that?
No, I think a routine, some kind of routine is important, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much.
Well, thank you very much, Ma. And we'll let you go.
Okay.
I love you, Ma.
I love you too very much. So do
And
we check in on Sunday too? And
we will Skype with you as usual on Sunday. And
Okay.
thank you very much for giving us of your time today. And
Okay.
take care.
we'll
Thank
do.
you
And
too, Mona. I love you too.
Best regards to Betsy.
Thank you very much. All the best to you. Stay healthy.
She's well.
Yes, she's doing fine. Speaking of
Good.
a person who's good at routine, she does certain things at certain times of the day, every day, including online Pilates. So
And she'll be
she's
joining
doing
us.
well.
She'll be joining us tomorrow, so you'll be able to
Oh,
to
nice.
catch up on what she's up to. So, okay, we'll talk to you Sunday.
Okay. Bye
Take
bye.
care.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. You're a lucky guy.
I am. And can you tell that she was a teacher for 40 odd years? So she's,
I was just, maybe another time we could talk about that, because I
Yeah.
think her idea of lifelong learning is probably stems from that mentality as much as the avocation or the vocation.
not sitting still at all. There's always something going on. And she's, so anyway, yes, I am. I am lucky to still have my mom. I know that your mom has been gone for many years now.
Yeah,
And
still miss her.
Yeah, I'm sure
That
you do.
doesn't go away.
Yeah.
It's interesting. She's an early riser.
It's interesting
Is
that
that where you got it from, or was
No,
your dad
no,
an early
no.
riser too?
I had to train myself to do that. Again, it gets back to working strange hours, which you and I have done, which you did arduously for quite some time. And no, you have to. I found myself having to retrain myself to do that, to get up that early. I'm up at
And now, do you
4:35.
actually enjoy it? Like at 5 o'clock, are you sort of happy to?
It's becomes, and again, I'm a creature of habit. Up at 5, breakfast at 6:30, and I've got the radio station on at the same station at the same time, and my spouse laughs at me all the time because the butter dish is here, the toaster is plugged in, the plate and the little knife are out. It's the peanut butter. It's always the same, and it's never this. It's not a piece of white bread, and it's a piece of white, one of brown, and one of raisin, and it's crazy.
You're insane.
No,
but your spouse who laughs at you is on her hands and knees with a brush scrubbing the kitchen floor, right?
That's
At
right.
5:15 in the morning.
It's like the rungs of a ladder. It gets me through the day, So
Yeah.
Anyway,
I am finding reading not magazines or newspapers, although we do get a paper. The paper now is a variant, no matter what section it is. It could be the sports section, the arts section, ROB, whatever. It's a variant on the same story, right? They're all about the same thing. What I'm getting to enjoy and have to make sure I do it every day at a certain time. At first, it was difficult because I was at that stage the way you were when you were in high school. I'll read 50 pages tonight. Well, I started out that way. And now it's just in the habit of starting and reading novels. I find very therapeutic.
Well, I'm on Susan Pinker now, so I'm going to have that finished by the time we talk to her, I think.
Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah. I've heard her and seen a couple of her videos. I'd never read her until now, but it's very interesting. And she responded, by the way, yesterday for the technical hookup, so she's more than happy to join us in the coming days.
Okay. At first, she thought it was just an audio.
Oh.
And then she said, "Oh, video. Okay."
And you should have said, "Well, you've seen Dave in his underwear, haven't you?" Well, then you'll be just fine.
That really scared her.
Yeah.
It was so nice to see your mother.
Thank you.
She did a great job. Happy day, Mona. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for joining her and me, and we will join you and your spouse tomorrow afternoon to talk.
Yep. Betsy would love to chat about things, and actually some of it is being someone who is, well, she's like you. She doesn't retire, but she's beyond retirement age, and she talks about some of those challenges she faces.
Yeah. Okay, à demain.
Take it easy. Thanks. Bye.